In this week's programme, you'll find us at the US Nationals in San Antonio in Texas. This event is huge. That's the simplest way to describe it. In the next 6 days, over 2 million clays will be thrown. This really is the pinnacle of sporting clays in the USA. The main event has 4 courses: the red, the orange, the green and the yellow. Each course has 75 targets, so the total for the main event is out of 300. Our man at the event is Colin Burrows.
Thanks Phil, and welcome to Texas and the San Antonio Shooting Complex and the home of the US Nationals. Now at this point I should take my hat off and go yee-haw, but frankly that doesn't sound great in an English accent. Now the National Sporting Clay Championships, to us Brits who don't know much, sounds like a small occasion. It's not. This is the be-all and end-all of shooting, it seems to me.
It's a pretty big shoot. Yeah, we kind of compare it to the Daytona 500 for NASCAR. There's about 2,000 competitors here, and at least another 2,000 spectators that'll come and check out the shoot over the week.
So, called the Nationals, but what you can hear from my accent, of course, it's not just US people competing. It draws a big crowd, doesn't it, from all over?
Yeah, more and more international competitors are shooting every year. I think if you look at the international concurrent this year, there's quite a few people.
So we're in the middle of a whole bunch of different events. Let's just talk about the main event, which I think you just shot your first rotation on today.
Yeah, I shot this morning at 8 o'clock. I shot on the red course and had a pretty good round. I only missed targets on 3 stations. One of those stations is pretty tough, so I missed 3 on that one alone, but I only dropped 2 more besides that, and I felt like it was a good round, and I'm moving the gun really well, seeing the targets good, so hopefully I can finish the week strong.
And how many nationals have you got under your belt?
I've shot in every national since 1996, and I've won one of them as far as the main event goes. I've won quite a few side events over the years, but yeah, my only main event national championship came in 2009.
Now it wasn't of course just that championship this year. We also had this big event in Dubai, which is a big event for you, particularly as the winner of it. I'm assuming you'll be back to defend your title next year?
I'll definitely be back, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. There's a bit more money in that shoot this year, and you know, shooting so well in Dubai and the PSA Tour for me, it's been a really fun year, and I really look forward to next year.
One of the downsides, of course, if we do follow the golf and the tennis thing, is that you guys are going to be on the road all the time. It's just going to become an endurance test. I mean, that's a genuine concern, I guess, because although it doesn't seem like it, you do have to be at the peak of physical fitness to do this game, right, don't you?
Yeah, I think so, and you know, for me, that's something that I take pretty seriously, and I enjoy it as well. I like working out and staying in shape, but I think that also, you know, connects with my mental state also, and so both physical and mental conditioning is really what it's going to take. And you know, you've seen that trend in golf. A lot of top golfers are taking physical fitness pretty important on their priority list. So yeah, I think we're going to be doing the same thing as far as the whole in the shooting community, and yeah, I mean, it just for me provides another avenue of having fun with the game.
Well, 2014's been very good to you. We wish you well for 2015.
Well, thank you, Colin.
Thank you. It's not just about a single event, is it?
No, it's about the whole experience. This event is about many events. Our 300 bird main event, we have over 1,800 competitors, but overall in all the events we have over 1,920 shooters that came in to experience some part of this championship. And we found out that a lot of people, when they come to the Nationals, want to compete in many events.
And not even the competitions. There are a whole bunch of side shows going on as well.
Yeah, we've got Make a Break. We have games, Big Mac games for Ronald McDonald House. We have 2 practice courses. There's just a lot of things. If you want to pull the trigger, there's a lot of things to be able to pull the trigger at.
Now over your shoulder we can see some of the trophies being laid out for the awards tonight. Sadly, none with my name on it. There's been an oversight clearly there. But it's the top end of competition, this, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, we get the cream of the crop. You know, they're all coming to, this is their Super Bowl, this is their World Series. So all of our top shooters come in here to compete because they want to say that they were this year's national champion. And I mean, when you start saying that you're the best of 1,900 people, 1,800 in the main event. You know, we've got almost 1,700 plus in just the preliminary event. So just winning a prelim is a pretty good showing.
And finally then, a word for our English visitors. Welcome here to come and shoot.
Oh yes, we encourage everyone. Like I mentioned, we have over 150 international competitors. It's something that to be a part of, to see, to have. Richard Faulds, we saw Richard here. I saw him. We appreciate him coming over. It's always good to see that quality of competitors come in, because like I said, it's not just the main event, it's all the other events, it's the experience, it's seeing the vendors and the sponsors and that, all the parties and different things going on, and it's a great time.
Well, it's a busy night for you. You've got to get back to polishing those trophies. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
You're a very special person every day, but particularly this week, you've achieved a record that I don't think anybody else has done. Tell us about it.
Exactly. I've been to every national championship since 1989, so that makes 26, and I'm the only person in the whole organization that has done that.
So you're the best person to tell me, how has the event changed over the years?
It's changed quite a bit. Well, back in '89 there were very few people. I mean, we had, I don't remember, 150, 200 people. As opposed to now, we have over 2,000 people shooting. Back then the traps were actually hand thrown. The kids would be on them, and so it was not quite as didn't have as many different trajectories and things like that, so it was a little bit easier, I would say. Today it's pretty high tech and a lot of fun.
You've seen changes like the technological ones. Have you seen changes in shooting styles and technology as well?
Yes and no. Probably we all started with swing through. You still see a lot of people doing that as far as styles and stuff. Of course, each person has their own particular style, and so we have. It's fun to watch and to see what people do and what they perceive they're supposed to do with each target.
They used to say there was a difference between European and US sporting targets. Is
Right.
that still the case, or are we seeing a whole range of stuff?
I think they're pretty much the same. I think probably in the UK you have higher targets, but they have towers out here. So it's been, I think they're probably about the same. It's just very challenging, which is why people come to this sport, because it is so much fun. It's not the same. And each station is different, therefore you are constantly challenged to get better.
You and Gil have made a career out of trying to make people better. Tell me a little bit about OSP.
Okay, it's really weird. We never thought we would be doing this. We thought we used to be competitive shooters, and we shot all over the country, and people would call and say, how do you shoot this target? And we would tell them over the phone, and then one day someone called and said, what will you charge us to come and teach at our club? And we went, you're gonna pay us to do that? So we started it, and Gil would go one weekend and I would go the next weekend, and we still had kids that were smaller then, and so one of us had to be home, but so it worked out. It's just kind of evolved. And if you had asked me 30 years ago if I was going to be teaching shooting, I'd say, are you nuts? No, I'm going to be shooting, but I'm not going to be teaching it. But we have had a ball with it. You meet the nicest people that shoot a shotgun, and when people come to us, they really want to get better. So they will listen to us, and we have made, we go back to the science of how your eyes work, how everything works to make this a lot easier, or at least where you can understand it. If you miss a target, you have to stop and say, I got to do this, or I got to see it here, or you can fix it.
So one of the nice things about this event is to see so many ladies out.
It's unbelievable compared to back home. There's so many here, and there's so much for all the ladies to shoot and don't feel that they're not capable, because it's just the men out there.
And it's more than just a 12 gauge, a 12 bore event here, isn't it?
There is. You've got the 410, you've got the 28, you've got the pump action, side by side. Just in the 28 gauge sporting, which is 100 targets, there's 175 ladies shooting that on its own. You would not get that at home for one of our majors.
Why do you think that is? Do you think the sport's more open to ladies here, or is it just more part of the culture? What is it?
I think there's just so much for everybody, let alone the ladies, to shoot as well. So therefore, it's a lot more equal over here. So they can shoot the 410, they can shoot the 28. They're just like open for everybody.
Never mind the specialist event, you're doing pretty well sitting nicely in the main event itself. Did you enjoy the shoot? How did you find it?
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. It seems like the target's a lot like back home this time, which is great. So then if you miss a few, you can pull it back a bit instead of just like some little dolly flops there, which does tend to happen sometimes. So you go to the stand and think, oh, okay, we're back home, I can get these long crosses and etc. and not be scared to miss. So yeah, I'm sat there quite nicely at the moment.
Of course, one of the big differences, never mind the number of the competitors, the number of targets thrown, it's the number of cards that are involved here. I mean, if I've clearly gone into the wrong end of the business, I should be selling cards. It's a different way of getting around the course, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It can be easy, but it's so big here, so you need one. And you could have just simple ones and everyone's got them all blinged up and everything else. So yeah, they're fun.
We were talking about the ladies, and it looks like your colleagues at Cesar Guarini have been thinking about the ladies particularly hard in terms of their design.
Yes, they've been doing that now for the past year, and they've brought out the siren, and there's a lot of difference from literally just getting one out of the box where you just got to hand it to your wife or your girlfriend, and it's literally built for a man, with them being really flat and longer and etc. Now they've brought out the siren to the fact where the pitch is different, with the toe, with the comb raise, the length, the weight, and it just literally, you can get that out of the box now and go and say, there we are darling, have this.
There you heard it, an early Christmas present for everybody concerned. I shall take note. And finally, you and Richard have obviously enjoyed coming to the States, and you've been very successful. What makes it special for you guys?
It's just great. There's so many targets to shoot, which is absolutely great. You know, we're not happy unless we're pulling the trigger, really. And just the atmosphere, the hospitality to everyone's so welcoming here. It's really, really great.
Well, enjoy it while you can. It's raining back in the UK. So, Richard, first of all, I've been trying to explain to friends back home the size of this. I've failed. It's over to you now. Tell me how big this is.
2,400 competitors, 600 machines, in somewhere in the region of probably 2 million targets are going to be thrown this week. It's big.
And one of the things for us that's a learning thing is it's not just 12 bore, is it?
It's not. There's sub-gauge events, there's 28, 410, 20 gauge. That's across all of the events, sporting, FITAS and fighting.
You've been shooting quite a while in the States, and States has been good to you. What do you enjoy about coming here?
The attraction of coming over here for us is the hospitality. First off, Americans are really hospitable towards us. Always go out of their way, try and make you feel welcome, do anything they can for us. The shooting is getting a lot better. We've been coming over here now for a fair few years, and the quality of the targets has improved tenfold, and we're now seeing much more kind of British or European style targets being thrown.
You're in a strange position now where you've put your scorecard in and waiting to see how the rest have gone. Looking back, how do you rate the main event?
The main event was very good. It was, I think, where they benefit is they get several different course setters to do different parts of the course. So you've got one person putting their stamp on 10 stands, someone else doing 10 stands. So you get a great cross section of targets throughout because the main event is actually 40 stations, so you get a lot of targets.
So how many targets are we looking at, and how do they break it into those four colours?
Each course is 10 stands, either 74 targets or 76 targets. We shot on a 2-day rotation, so you shoot one in the morning, one in the afternoon. You do that for 2 days, and now we're into the 4-day rotation where the shoot runs Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so you only shoot one course per day. But we shot Tuesday, Wednesday, so we've finished the main event.
And would you recommend this to other UK shooters?
Very much so. I think if you haven't come over here and experienced the American way of shooting, then try and come to either the US Open, the Nationals now, or maybe the World English when it's over here, because they're truly great events to compete at.
Well, the sun's rising over San Antonio for the last time, or at least the last time for me, as I head back to London today. Hope you've enjoyed this little glimpse from Clay Shooting TV of the Nationals. I say little glimpse because Phil and I are going to cover this next year. We're going to need to bring a gazillion cameras because, as you've seen, it's a pretty big old place. And I guess that would probably be my tip if you were coming. Make sure you book a golf cart. It's 1 square mile of shooting grounds, and I've yomped more in the last couple of weeks than I have in the last 20 years. But it's all been worth it. I've enjoyed it. My scores haven't reflected it, but thank you, Richard and Tanya, for upholding British honour and sweeping all before them again. From the Nationals in San Antonio, Texas, back to Phil.
So interestingly, we spoke to Tanya and Richard earlier. I mean, a great result for both of them, really. I mean, one of the key highlights there for Tanya, she was the ladies K-Cup champion. I mean, for Richard, where do we start? I mean, Richard was high gun in the main event, tied with Pat Lieski, but as Richard is on the international scene, and obviously not from the USA, he couldn't be crowned a US Nationals champion for obvious reasons. But also Richard, high gun in the FitAsk, high gun in the Super Sporting, and also was the high gun in the whole all-round event. I mean, it was fantastic for Richard and Tanya, and we could really see the passion why they love coming to this event. Let's look at that main event. So as we said earlier, it was a 300 target course, so 4 different courses for people to shoot, 75 targets on each of the courses. And in that main event, the high gun was Pat Lieski, who was from Michigan, and he shot a fantastic 283 out of that 300. Then in second place, Bill Maguire, and remember we saw Bill Maguire earlier this year when he came second in the World English Sporting here in the UK. And then third was Tom Simmons, who shot a 274. The ladies, well, really this year, what a fantastic year it has been for Desi Edmonds. She rounded off this year by coming the high gun for the main event for the ladies, with Janet McDougall in second and Alexandra Rompler in third. So again, fantastic result. I mean, Desi has had an amazing year this year, and she'll certainly be looking to come first next year in the World Sporting when it's in Florida. And here at Clay Shooting TV, we will be there with all of our team to be covering the World Sporting. This year really for us was a sampler for us to have a look at the US Nationals, and next year we'll be bringing many more of the team so we can bring you some really in-depth coverage of what is a fantastic event.